The king in the north! The king in the north!
Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So that was a nice team win yesterday. Had a nice team win. You know, got to see probably the best we've seen their plan of using both quarterbacks. Probably the best we've seen that look, which was good to see. It was gave some promise. You know, we were in the dumps. We were in the dumps before then, so it was good to see. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people are talking about the tackling. The tackling was bad for the most part. It was. The tackling was bad. What's going on, Brad? Yeah, the tackling was bad, but this game gave us some promise, some hope, some promise for the future, for the rest of this season to see, you know. Oregon's up next. We got Oregon next. You know, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough, but you got to put the work in. You know, if Kirk Campbell and Sharon Moore put the work in on offense to make this, to not make the offense simple, then we got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Michigan can have a chance against everybody if they do those things. And also, Wink, remembering he doesn't have to blitz every time it's third and long. You don't have to blitz, brother. Yeah. That's what we all want to see. We want to see what Moore's what they're gonna do with Moore and who he's going to keep or fire. Because some of them dudes need to be gone. Some of them dudes need to be gone. That's just a fact, you know. But yeah, those dudes, their jobs was on the line. It seemed like because that was a big game, even though it was both teams had three losses, and I mean we know it was not that good of a season because it was on the Big Ten network. You know what I'm saying? Like late night on the Big Ten network. Yeah, God, this is bad. This is bad. We're not even on regular TV. Yeah, they did do well in front of the recruits. Feel like when I was a kid, I was going to get a whooping when I get home. That's how I feel about this Oregon game coming up. Hey, you thought you finna get a whooping when you get home? That's a horrible feeling back in the day. Yeah, it was a big game for this team. A loss would have been damaging. Yeah, a loss would have been horrible for the team. A loss would have been devastating, and I think you really would have guys would have started checking out. I really think guys would have started checking out if they would have lost that game. And let's be real, for the first half, it seemed like we were going to lose until the last 2-3 minutes. Before then, it looked like, bro, we're gonna lose this game, you know. But that's the crazy thing about momentum. Once we got that first touchdown, and then got the field goal before half, you know, the momentum just changed, and it was kind of Michigan's game to lose from then on. The way Warren played made me think if we pulled him too early, but he might have been playing well because he was benched the last few weeks. I don't know what to think. And he kind of alluded to that maybe he needed to be benched. I mean, when something like that happens, you have to try to make the most out of it, you know, if you're in that situation, like, you know, because you weren't playing well. He wasn't playing well. That's the thing. The way he was playing, you know, hindsight is 2020, but the way he was playing, he wasn't playing good. and then we would have been going against USC. I don't think. I think we might probably lose that USC game if he's in. Honestly, you know, we don't know, but that's what I think. You know, you got. You know, you got to get on OSU. Uh, Ryan is still Ryan soft. Oh boy, hey, and that is true. That is true. They still soft, and you know they've been trying to give us the business to get their little jokes off, but you know, as the season goes along, they're looking very beatable. They're looking beatable, you know. And for me, all it takes is for me to see somebody that's done slowed you down to give me some hope. You know, Oregon and Ohio State was a shootout. I don't really think we could get in a shootout with them, but to see what Nebraska did to them on offense, oh, I had a big smile on my face. Oh yeah, there you are. Hold on, I had to put my glasses on. Y'all watching the game, and I'm like, hold on, what the score is? I had to wipe off. They in a low scoring game with Nebraska. Oh, there you are. There you are. There you go. There you go. Uh-huh. There you go. We might. Oh, I like that. Yeah, we might be bad and still be able to beat y'all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watched their game, and I was watching their game, and I was in what you call it. I was watching a live stream, and they they were in misery for most of it. So it was a good watch. That was a great watch yesterday. This whatever Buckeye Live I was in, that was a great watch. Watching them struggle, and then watching the fans on the live stream, that was great. That was good, real good. You know, Nebraska got robbed. The refs in college football are bad. Like, if you ever thought there was a conspiracy going on or anything like that, you're validated this year because it looks like it in almost every game. Just horrible calls that make you think this isn't even possible, bro, because this is just way too obvious. Like, this is just bad. Like, the refs in college are horrible. I've never seen it. Usually you see a game here, a game there where it's bad. It's every game. There's horrible calls. Every game. Yeah, and I think Penn State might get them. I do think Penn State might get them. Yeah, I do think Penn State might just get them, because OSU's got some problems, They couldn't run it on Nebraska. Well, first, they lost the starting left tackle, Simmons. Then they lost Zen, the backup. He got hurt, so they're on their third left tackle. They're probably going to have to rearrange some guys on the offensive line, but they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't really run it, and like I said, Will Howard has bonehead in him. Garrison, I tried to tell you, it don't matter if I know that's your quarterback, but he's got some bonehead in him. He does. That don't mean he can't win a big game. It just means he's prone to making a dumb mistake that can lose you a game. And he did that. Through a real bad pick. But they look very beatable. Look very beatable. Let me put this link in the chat if anybody wants to come up. Spartan fans were so depressed leaving the big house last night. They were getting excited in the first quarter. Yeah, the problem is they outplayed us for most of the first half, but they didn't have any points to show for it except 7. They missed that field goal. So they outplayed us, but they didn't really have anything to show for it. You can always lose a game when that happens. 21 million for transfer portal and for players to return, trying to do what Michigan did last year. Yeah, they trying, but something is just off about them. Maybe it's Ryan Day's soft and the way he coaches. I don't know. Maybe it's something about him though. And part of that is the thing with Michigan. You had a lot of players that went through those battles. Your best players went through the battles and had the battle scars. So when 2023 came around, the main guys that you would need if you're struggling, they were all battle tested. Whether that was Blake, whether that was JJ, whether that was Donovan Edwards, Roman Wilson, Cornelius, even Colston Loveland. All those dudes were battle tested, and all the guys on defense. There's too many of them, and I don't even feel like naming them all. But all those guys were battle tested, so they were ready for those moments. Let me bring you up, Brad.
What's up with my brother?
Nothing much. What's going on, bro?
Not much. I'm about to just go on my little rant because I live here in Columbus, so they was going crazy. It was going crazy. But first thing I want to speak on, man, we really needed this win.
Facts.
Like we really this win like bad. So I'm so happy I can breathe. I say we at least need another win, get bowl eligible, kind of get through this season, sneak through this season. And I'm looking forward to seeing what I'm looking forward to the offseason to see what Sharon Moore gonna do. I believe in my heart that there's some coaches going to get rid of, get them up out of there. Gonna get some coaches up out of there. I know I got a feeling he's gonna hit that transfer portal hard, get us a QB. And so I'm looking. I think that win with Michigan State, and as weird as it may sound, it gave me a little bit of hope. Like it really gave me some hope. And then to throw a little bit on there, this is going to my rant when it comes to Ohio State, you Suckeye fans. Ryan is still Ryan. At the end of the day, he's still soft. And offensive line was terrible. So y'all, and my thing is, y'all brought, and it's for you all because you got a whole bunch of Ohio State fans that come on your live. They've been peeping, sneaking, throwing little shots or whatever. So this is for them. Y'all spent $21 million on a portal and for players to return at the end of the day. Before the season start, it was championship or bust. There was three things that was supposed to happen. It was to beat Michigan, it was to win a Big Ten title, and it was a national championship. And right now, Michigan, and y'all looking still, honestly, at this point, like you said, Johnny, Ohio State is even looking beatable in that game. I kind of written us out on that Ohio State game. I'm like, okay, we'll take our L on that one. But I know for sure, y'all not winning no Big Ten championship this year. Y'all not winning a national championship this year. Because at the end of the day, nobody's beating Georgia. Y'all just get that.
Not if that defense plays like that. You ain't beating them.
You're not beating. Nobody's beating Georgia. You're and the way Oregon is looking, Oregon is pretty good. So we could cut that. So me seeing how they play made me feel good. Like, man, Ohio State ain't even. They barely getting past Nebraska. Okay, but it's not even. It was bad. Offensive line is bad. Hey, you know what? That defensive coordinator that they got too, he wasn't that good. He's not. He got some Don Brown. He got some bonehead. That's the word that you've been. He got some bonehead in him. The way he was calling the game, I'm like, man. So Ohio State got a long way to go. And as far as our program, Michigan, I'm really feeling. I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay about this victory that we got from Michigan State. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say, John. Thank you for giving me some time, bro, just to kind of vent that out. And go blue, man.
Yes, sir. Go blue.
All right, I see you. You take care, man.
All right, bro. I'm about to bring Marcus up in a second. Daniel Henry if Georgia's defense plays like that, like they did against Texas, you're not beating them. I think that's pretty clear. That's a if though. If they play like they did against Texas. I mean, it's not a guarantee they will, but if you're in the playoff and have to play them, it's a big possibility that they will play like that. But that's the question. Can they continue to play like that week in and week out? But if they do, you're not beating them. I hate to break it to you, but you're not beating them if they play like that. That defense, when they play like that and they're head hunting. The thing I like about Kirby Smart, and this could be good or bad depending on the game. He lets them boys play football early 2000, mid 1990 football. You come across that middle, I'm knocking your head in. And it's really a clean hit most of the time if I'm going to be 100. It just looks so physical and so vicious that they have to throw those dudes out. But those are really clean hits to me. You know what I'm saying? Georgia offense is not scary. Shut them down if they shut you down. Just don't turn it over and win a rock fight. Yeah, but the problem is you don't got the rocks. You're not throwing the rocks that they're throwing. That's the thing. Your pass rush isn't that good. So that helps them right there. You're going to have to blitz to get pressure. They're not going to be blitzing, and their guys play like their head is on fire. Let me know if I'm lying. Them boys it's just a difference. You know, the same thing I said last year with Georgia. They have to blitz. They couldn't get a pass rush with 4 last year. They didn't have a good pass rush. This year, seems like they do. The way they destroyed Texas's offensive line, we couldn't even do that. And we got maybe one of the best defensive lines that can get pressure with 4. Y'all can't get pressure with 4. Y'all got them underachievers. UGA was unbeatable in 22 as well. Yeah, and y'all didn't beat them. Yeah, and you didn't beat them. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. They were. You didn't beat them, man. You got up 14 like 3 times in that game and you still lost, bro. So what do you come on? Oh, okay. Since they didn't smack y'all, I get it. I get it. It was still funny, but I get it. I get it. It's still funny, but I get it. It was a close one. Hey. I understand. I understand. Oh my goodness. Oregon would beat Georgia, in my opinion. That's a possibility. It's a possibility with that type of offense, but they could also get smacked. You know what I'm saying? It just depends. I think it all depends on if that Georgia defense shows up and they're angry like that. If they're angry like that, I don't. My opinion, I don't think anybody is going to beat them if they show up like they did to Texas. You know what I'm saying? But that's a big if right now. Man, it was lovely being on OSU campus that night at the Dave Chappelle show. They were so happy TCU beat us. Then they said the final of the UGA OSU score, crowd lost it. Whew, I needed that laugh. I'm going to bring you up now, bro. What up?
Hey, shit. Feeling great. I ain't know how many more of these we was gonna do this season, bro. So I'm feeling excellent. Feeling great.
Yep. So
yeah, that was
give us your
surprising.
take on the game.
Okay, so as far as the quarterback situation goes, right? Davis, he at least defied one of the odds I threw out there for him in terms of turnovers, right? He played safe, but not safe enough to the point where it was, I don't know, overall, it didn't hamper the team, right? It didn't put us in bad spots overall. I think there were some missed throws, there were some missed receivers early, the first quarter where the way it went. The most surprising thing that came out of this, what's going on, Brad? The most surprising thing that came out of this was how they used Orgy and how it began to become a 1-2 punch with them two, which is what you thought you were getting initially in the beginning of the year when they named Davis Warren the starter, right? I thought there was a few times first quarter and mid to late third quarter where they were kind of reluctant to play him. They kind of ran their standard, go back out there, run left, and simple passing concept on third down kind of, situation out there when we had the lead, when we got up by 2 scores. At that point, I'm like, hey, I mean, if that's what we're doing, fam, let's bleed clock. Let's get Orgy back in there, because I don't know if anybody else noticed, but while, we seem to have some sort of cohesiveness on our scripted plays or our scripted drives, in the passing game, the running game was mightily affected when Warren was in there, right? I don't think Khalil Mullins did much of anything. And that's, I think, partially if you see Khalil Mullins in the game and there's heavy run, they're giving you heavy run shows, right, from the guards. It's hard for a defense not to trigger that hard. Against a guy like Khalil Mullins, especially when there's no threat for somebody to pull it and go around the corner, right? So it was a lot easier to come downhill on Khalil than in past games. That's something that they're going to have to work on. My biggest question with this, right? Because we are where we're at, right? And we won the game, so I'm never going to poo-poo us winning the game. My biggest question is last night, since the since the running game wasn't going the way it was supposed to, they leaned on Davis Warren passing the ball in certain situations. Does that flip? Because, while this was a better passing performance than we've gotten from Davis Warren in the past, you would like to think that, or, conventional wisdom tells you that probably 146 yards is not going to make a defense wilt. They'll give that up. If we went into a game and said, all right, passing offense on the opposite side is going to give up, you're going to give up 146 yards, and then you're going to outrush them 170 yards to 120. We'd say we're going to win that game, right? It really is interesting how Michigan ended up winning, even though losing the rushing battle, because that's usually not a thing in this game. Ever. Usually not a thing in this game that we've ever seen. The reason why they were able to escape it, though, no penalties, no turnovers.
Exactly.
You play a perfect game like that, you got a chance to beat anybody. And if this is what it takes to get there, I'm on board. I just want to know that at the instance that we can't pass the ball and running it is what's open, are you going to lean heavier into Alex Orji? Alex Orji was your most prolific rusher last night. He's like 6 carries, 60 yards, 65 yards, something like that.
Yeah, so 10 yards a pop.
It was amazing. Like, they can call quarterback runs when he's the backup. It was great. It was great, man. I'm like, damn, look at him take off the side. Man, I thought he wasn't a shifty runner. I seen him take one dude. Oops, excuse me. Go around. You keep going. I'm like, oh wait, I thought he had no shift. I thought he wasn't even fast. I thought he was just a power runner.
Yeah, people have been saying he's not fast, which is
I seen him out.
Saw him last year look like he was fast. What are we talking about?
Damn, on straight QB powers, he's outflanking the entire defense. Sounds like speed to me, but I'll leave the
No, he's not that shifty, but he can move.
He can move.
And
he
I
can
think
move.
it's just him getting more comfortable.
Yep.
I think even him and Davis Warren, I think the guys are so tight and worried about keeping their job that it really messes with them because, okay, Davis starts, boom, you benched. Orgy, your team, boom, you benched. I said I was going to use you regardless if you weren't a starter or not, Orgy. Well, I'm not going to use you no more. Tuttle, you're the starter.
You're the
boom.
starter. Right.
Tuttle, you're out. You know what I'm saying? So I think they played a little free. They probably told them, like, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go back to our original plan. Warren, you're starting. Orgy, you're going to play. And it could be a lot depending on how it's going.
Depending on the situation. They have to leave that door open because, again, while things look better, and I have to commend Davis Warren because, once again, what we do, we have to stand on what it is we say every week. There are those who engage online, and they get to throw their comments up, and whether it's right or wrong, they get to leave it there and walk away from it forever. So when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Davis Warren did not turn the ball over. He took care of it. And even when he had some errant throws, I don't think a lot of them were pick worthy, right? So if that's going to be the case, if the passing offense is going to be what wins us games in certain situations, I'm there for it. There's more than likely going to be a point where that dynamic has to shift, and they have to be willing to do it at a drop of a dime. They can't waffle on it and be like, oh, well, Davis is still our starter. Well, look, if this thing is going to work the way it is, you got to lean into what's working. Last night, he was able to move the ball through the air on Michigan State, right? We got Oregon next week. Where was Oregon's weakness against Ohio State? Was it through the air?
I mean, he threw for what, 350, didn't he?
I think. Well, yeah, no, they did shut him down because the first half of that game, Ohio State got whatever they wanted on the ground.
Yeah, they couldn't. They only got
shut him down
20 yards in the second half.
Yeah, they shut him down completely. So, man, I guess it's going to depend on how they play it. We've seen them give up.
We know we can't have him drop back a bunch. That's how we got through this one, because at first I forgot about Davis Warren because he had been benched for so long. So that first third down, Loveland is wide open. I'm like, oh God, he's locked on his first read, looking over here.
And he bailed out. He bailed out the pocket, right, and went the opposite way.
I'm like, bro, this dude again. I forgot he'd be locking on his first read. But then as the game went on, he got better, got more comfortable, and we had that touchdown drive. And from then, once we got that touchdown and got that strip, everything just kind of fell into place, and it started to really click. The play calling, Davis got more comfortable, Orgy got comfortable, and it was like, okay, thank God.
Yeah.
So.
He did that again the second time it worked out for him because Samaj came open late. Those are things that you're going to have to live and die with him if he's going to be the primary passer. I think it's about fluidity from now on, right? You got to have a decent pulse on who to play and where. One of the things that stood out to me about Davis's performance is that they were able to control situations for him last night. He wasn't really under too much pressure until maybe the fourth quarter when they started to score and close the gap a bit. But most of the time, even when we were down that 7-3, that 7-6, 7-9, it was still in a competitive enough state that he didn't have to catch us up. He didn't have to press and do anything to get us over the hump. If they can continue to be in that situation, that's one thing. With the games we have left, that's far from a guarantee, right? So controlling, situations or controlling when you play these guys is going to be key. They can't be shy about switching them though, right? They're already not shy about not playing Orgy. They can't be shy about, because now you've created a dynamic where you can play Orgy in the second half and bring Warren out the next week, right? And you don't have to kill his confidence to do it. You just say, look, this is what the team needed. This is what we were doing. This is how we started winning. this is how we're gonna keep going, right? It doesn't have to become that thing of, oh, I'm about to get replaced, because now he has a role. His role is defined. Don't know why it took us 2/3 of the season to get here, but now we're in a spot where guys can feel comfortable in what they do well. So as long as they can keep that going, I don't really see a problem with it. I still feel like the way to go is the way to go, but we won't go there because we got a dub, and that's what's most important, I guess. So,
got you, Steven. I'm about to bring you up after I cook Lisa real quick.
Uh-oh.
You guys barely beat Sparty, and they aren't very good. Then you guys are talking like you can beat us this year.
Who's
well,
us?
Y'all didn't look good against Nebraska.
I was about to say that.
Nebraska, that makes us think we can beat you. Nebraska has a good defense. We got one. That's all it took, was some good defense to keep them in the game.
And it wasn't spectacular offensively either, man. They ran the ball off tackle a lot of split zone, a lot of outside zone. They threw the ball when they had the chance to downfield.
Dylan Raiola left 2 touchdowns on the field.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. He missed dude on the wheel route 4, and he missed 18 in the second half on a similar route to the sideline. So
yeah, so
and then they had a couple of them called back too. A couple of them passes got called back for
when you play like that, it makes us think we can beat y'all. Nebraska is Nebraska a juggernaut?
No, not at all.
I must have missed something.
Ohio State has a few issues, right? Their run defense is it's here and there, right? Because I think they were good at times versus Nebraska, and then once they start getting off tackle, it was open season. I think their defensive secondary is something to watch, man, because it is a handsy group. I thought our guys were handsy.
Oh hell
no. That is part of the technique. They are grabbing off rip.
Yeah, Iggy and Denzel, they grab.
Yeah. Even Jordan, I think Jordan. Oh no, not Lil Styles. Lil Styles was out there playing with his brother yesterday, and I'm looking at him. And in the second half, I think Matt Rule seen what I seen, because they just start throwing back shoulder fades, and they weren't even trying to complete the ball. They were just like, we know you gonna have your hands on them. So receiver, just turn around, make it look like just hold the receiver. Yeah, show them we're gonna get these penalties and walk down the field, and that's how they scored in the second half.
No, let me bring.
So they got weaknesses for sure.
Let me bring Steven up. He's been waiting patiently. Whoop, my bad, bro.
What's up, Steven? Man? Y'all good. Hey, and before I get into Michigan, and as far as the Buckeyes, the refs for some reason have this affinity to keep saving the Buckeyes. So let's not forget that. And 2, O-State's O-line, ain't really that good. Josiah Stewart, if y'all thought he was a first round pick before, he gonna get his family, all his family out the hood against that O-line. So I need to chill out with that talking.
Oh yeah, he paid. I'm glad too.
Yeah, but as far as the game, I'm not mad. This is what I'm concerned about, because Bryce Underwood was there. I didn't know Bryce was there until last night. I was amazed, man. Why did it take for those guys to be there for you to open up the playbook? Because they were doing some stuff I knew they were capable of, but I'm like, Kurt Campbell, why all of a sudden are you doing these plays to impress Bryce? Like, come on, dude. Like, you should have been doing this. They were bringing in Alex on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and I'm like, Alex Orgy on 3rd and 8, what are they doing? But the stuff works. For whatever reason, it worked. And I also noticed this. Anytime they bring Donovan and Khalil in the game, Khalil doesn't do well running. When he's the focus, he can just get 3rd and 6. But when Donovan's in there, which they should have been doing, it's like Khalil's not doing anything. I don't know if the line just blocks better when Donovan's in there, but it's just weird to me how Khalil can't be as effective when Donovan is in the game, or even with Alex. Doesn't even matter the quarterback. I thought it was surprising. I'm glad the defense is playing better without Will. Jair, hey, Jair, if you're listening, I was hard on you. It ain't because I hate you, brother. I love you. I just want you to play to your potential. He did well against March. They did their thing. I really don't have many complaints. It was balanced. M State kind of got up and got a little cocky, and like Colson said, little brother does little brother things. You gotta spank them a little bit, put them back in their place, and that was it. But I'm thankful that Colson Loveman finally realizes, and the staff realizes, that he's the most unguardable tight end in the country. He's always open. Get the man the ball. Donovan did his thing. Hey, it was if that gets Bryce Underwood here, great. If it does, but I just think that this is a stepping stone. I'm not saying Oregon's going to beat Michigan. I think they can beat Oregon, but they got to have Will Johnson back. And Evan Stewart is going to ball out. That's going to be a game that he's looking forward to. Ted Johnson, Holden, they can't beat him without Will Johnson. I'm just going to be real.
Yeah,
But
you need
you know,
Will.
Yep.
yeah, I think they did well. I'll kind of I know I've been saying a whole lot, just one breath, but I want y'all's opinion on if Michigan has a realistic chance to win out because Indiana's good. Indiana hadn't played a lot of teams. They played Michigan and State, I think, back to back. So what are y'all thinking about that? And Penn State plays also. It's gonna be interesting, man. So what are y'all thinking about the trajectory of the team based on what you saw yesterday? And I just listen.
I saw some good stuff, but to win out is a level of consistency that we haven't seen all year. You know what I mean? A level of consistency and execution. To win, you got to execute, be able to consistently out execute your opponent. I haven't seen that yet. That don't mean that they can't do it, but everything has to get better from where it was. The execution from the players, the play calling has to consistently be good. Because what's his name? Kirk Campbell. He gets vanilla for periods. He gets periods of getting vanilla, run up the middle, punt, run up the middle, incomplete pass. You know what I'm saying? You can't have those. Our margin for error is so small. You can't have those possessions of vanilla play calling and we're just punting. Because the team as a whole doesn't play consistently enough on defense or offense for you to not consistently be playing well. Same on defense. Wink gets in his mood. It's late in the game. They're in the red zone. Oh, you know what time it is. Time to blitz. Touchdown. Thanks, Wink. So it's the play calling plus the execution. It has to get better. And I'm not sure if it's there yet. Because this is the first time that it actually looks smooth, kind of. For a half. You can't even say the whole game. Just really a half. You muted, bro.
And for people in the comments that saying Bryce wasn't there, Bryce was there. It's been confirmed. They didn't report it. He was up there with a lot of people. He was there. So don't say he wasn't there. Just because you didn't see him, don't mean he wasn't there. They put the full post. He was there. Yeah,
they had a lot of recruiting. Yeah. This is a big recruiting weekend. A lot of flip targets. Shamari Earls was up there. Elijah Dotson. They had a lot of big time guys up there. I'll split it up offensively and defensively. Defensively, they have a chance. Defense should be able to keep us in every game for the rest of the year. Because the thing is, as good as Oregon looks, we've seen the chinks, right? We know where their weaknesses are, and they persist. They go forward in spite of them, right? They've found a way to get around them, but they're still there. Ohio State has the same amount of things going on. Their offensive line is in shambles. Don't know what they're going to do at left tackle right now. That's going to be an interesting storyline for the rest of the season. Indiana, while I have been very impressed with Kirk Cignetti and what he's done in year one, you laid it out. Ohio State, Michigan, back-to-back weeks. That's tough, man. That's tough. You get through even the state that both teams are in currently. That's a uphill battle for a team from Bloomington. If he gets through those 1-1, I'm impressed. He gets through a 2-0, y'all gonna have to look out for Cignetti. I don't know what y'all gonna do with him, but I don't see that being the case. So defensively, they got a chance. Offensively, last night gave me some confidence that they can do it, that it's possible if they're healthy going the rest of the way. I don't know how they progress without finding a way to run the ball when Davis is in. If Davis is going to be the primary quarterback, they got to find a way to get the running game going while he's in, right? Whether that's, Khalil, most of the snaps that he was handing off, he had with Davis. So I don't know if that's maybe switch that up, Donovan with Davis. I don't know. But they got to find a way to run the ball when Davis got it, when he's the quarterback, because it's going back to what we had in the first 3 weeks where we couldn't get guys off the line of scrimmage. And it was because there was no threat for Davis to pull it. There were no reads. There was no RPO going on. There was no balance to how hard they were triggering on early rundown. So we'll see. I guess best answer.
All right, I appreciate y'all letting me up. Johnny, man, I appreciate you as always. Up there looking like the fifth member of Jodeci. I'm going to get with you, though, man. Y'all have a good day. Go Blue.
Go Blue.
He might always try to check me before he leaves. I appreciate Steven. He's been around for a while, man. He's been around for a while.
So,
I guess I'll bring Frank up. Try to keep these going quickly and smoothly. What up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Doc?
Nothing much.
I want to say I appreciate the channel, man. It's very therapeutic. It's very, it's very therapeutic, man. I was going crazy yesterday, but we pulled it off, man. I appreciate it. I just wanted to say them referees wasn't really. They really that when they had 12 men on the field, they weren't really calling nothing. And then the Donovan hit late, they weren't really calling. And I wasn't tripping, but that could have been, it could have cost something down the line.
These college refs, I don't know what's going on with them this year. Every game is like they bad. Every one of the games.
And I don't understand why you got you got a lot of old F5 fans on your page too, man. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but it seemed like they love Michigan for some reason.
Yeah. That's the rivalry.
And I just said I know I was gonna pull up. I did a little stream yesterday. I just said I was gonna pull up because man, I need, like I say, every time you post something, your analysis is always on point. And I try to get people to see that. I don't think they really see your analysis like that, but I do. And I just want to say I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, bro.
All right, y'all be easy. Go Blue. I think we can pull off at least another win. I don't know about Oregon, but I think we got something. We can pull off.
Yeah, I think we can we can sneak somebody that's supposed to be that good.
Yeah,
we're gonna sneak somebody.
Okay.
Who it'll be,
I'm just happy we beat Shardy, but appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good day, man. Thank you. Yep.
That's a fact. Like,
if they'd have lost this one, they'd have burnt something down. They'd have burned something down.
Yeah, that's a fact because it's one thing to lose to Ohio State or even Oregon or I guess even Indiana the way they playing this year, but we can't lose to you. Not you, Shard. Not you. Nah, y'all do because y'all be talking. Y'all be trying to talk and y'all haven't accomplished anything.
It was the perfect Michigan State loss, too. They dominated in everything. They had more total yards. They had more time of possession. They had more first downs. They had more passing yards. They had more rushing yards. There was no reason why they should have lost this game other than penalties and the one turnover there at the end of the half. But hey, that's how it goes, man. You let your little brother get up and you snatch him on back. It was getting pretty loud, too. It was getting real loud.
Yeah. They, for some reason, they thought since we were losing and whatever that meant that they were just gonna get an easy win, like they were dominant, like they were a dominant team.
Yeah, basically, like they weren't gonna have to scratch and claw to win the game. They were just gonna, just walk in and take Paul, I guess.
Yeah, they didn't seem to trust Aiden Childs like that. They seemed like they didn't want to put the game on his shoulders.
Yeah, I gotta look at it. I'll watch the breakdowns, obviously, this next coming week to see how they were playing them. But you're right. It didn't really seem like they threatened the deep third of the defense much. I can think of maybe 2 or 3 times. And most of the time they played it well. I think Zeke got caught up once or twice. Either getting beat or getting a PI. Hey, listen, now that Wesley Walker is back and Quentin Johnson is back, we can start to see less and less of Makari, I think.
You think so?
I think every time I seen Makari Page attempting a tackle on Saturday, he missed it, I feel like. I don't know if he had an actual recorded solo tackle. What'd you say?
And so it's just crazy. He's regressing so much. But then
He missed everything.
I guess if I really think about it, last year, the safeties didn't have to make that many tackles. At safety, if you got a good defense, you're not going to make that many tackles.
And
You
think
don't
about
want,
who was booking them. Look, think who was booking them. We had Rod Moore and Mike Samerstill.
yeah,
That was the opposite safeties over on the other side of him. So
yeah,
literally just stay in your spot. That's all they needed you to do.
yeah.
You know, but at the same time, I didn't expect him. Coverage is not where he's struggling so much. The man will not wrap up and make a tackle. Like there was one play where Joe Clack kind of, shouted him out and tried to give him some pub for, sniffing out a reverse and making the guy, bow out. The guy bowed out around him and got 10 yards, damn near. I'm like, no, man, get him on the ground. And then did it over and over. Carter gave him, you know what it reminded me of? Remember when Kenneth Walker gave Josh Ross the business in 21? That's what it felt like my boy Carter was doing to McCarty Page last night. It was just
I think that reminded everybody, gave everybody those Kenneth Walker nightmares.
I'm like, this is bad. It's bad. And also something that didn't feel right. They were running into a Bear defense last night, y'all. We had three at most of the time, 295 to 330 100 pounders, in there, three of them at a time. It was either combination of one or three set of this group: Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Trey Pierce, Ike Awana, Eno Etta. That's 5 guys on the interior. They were running Bear all night. How the hell did they run so good on us? How did they run so successfully into the teeth of 300 pounders? Like, we were in Bear defense most of the night. I don't understand how they were running directly through it. That didn't feel like they were motivated at first. That first quarter felt like a disaster.
Yeah.
On both sides.
I didn't like it at first. I was like, bro, get out of that. Get out of it. Just get back in what you normally run.
But they were running though. That's what was frustrating me. It's like, all right, well, I don't know why we're starting the game in Bear, but they running the ball though. Like it's hard to to get into your sub package and they running it down your throat.
I think Wink was trying to come out and outsmart them.
Maybe, yeah.
Didn't work, bro. That Bear did not work very well.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be honest, stop trying to outsmart everybody, bro. Sometimes you don't have to outsmart everybody. Sometimes it's just we're better than you. It's just like he still don't understand it, bro. You've got one of the best D lines, and if Hausman and Barner actually play like that, Hausman's been playing pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Not Barner.
Barnes be coming around.
Barham.
Yeah.
He's starting to play well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to change up, bro.
I think it's a give and pull, right? Because he trusted him a lot early in the season and they burnt him. Those guys that we talking about now, Ernie, Jay Sean, what I mean? Those guys kind of burnt him when he leaned on them early in the season. Now, like you said, they're coming along, so give them more leash. You know what I mean? Like we don't need to pressure as much. I don't think we need to start the game in a 3, a 3 down lineman set. I feel like maybe at least make them get out your base. Like make them make you get out of your base defense.
That's what
first.
I'm saying.
Yeah. Make them make you get out of it first.
Got you. Let me bring up the good doctor, and then I'm gonna bring you up Boxing Maniac.
What's going on, Johnny? Marcus?
How you
What's
doing?
going on, man?
Good. Hey, yeah, so I was at an event and I tuned into the game for the second half. So I think Michigan was up 17-10 or something like that. And so Davis started. It looks like they were mixing Orgy in.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the Aiden Childs kid. I saw him move the ball. I saw their running back bounce off a couple of our players, and I saw several missed tackles there in that second half. Do you guys think in the next month, there are 4 games left, there's enough there to avoid? I mean, do you think the Northwestern game is winnable? The other 3, I don't know, man.
It's gonna be hard. They're gonna have to put their best work out there.
Yeah.
That's everybody really. Offense, defense, special teams, the coordinators. They're gonna have to be on their A game to win any of those top 3s.
The defense has a chance to compete. The offense has so many questions, it's hard to call. Like at their top, at their best, if they're willing to lean all the way into using both guys, right, regardless of the situation, that gives you a level of fluidity on offense that they haven't had all year. So there's an opportunity there. We just haven't seen it on multiple games. Like we've seen it for a half. We've seen it in games versus lesser competition. We haven't seen it for an entire game, not even this game. So I'm hopeful, but still skeptical. I guess that's the best I can go.
Okay. Well, the good thing is Davis didn't turn the ball over. I looked at the stat line this morning, and he didn't turn the ball over. But I don't know. Looking at his completions versus attempts versus the total yardage that he generated, even that was sub Cade McNamara a little bit. Cade at least got you up into the upper 100s and lower 200s, but the yardage in terms of the passing game, I don't know if there's enough there right now.
Yeah, and that's how he's been all year. You know, he's gonna give you about 110, 20, 30 yards. That's what he's gonna do. You know, he got to 200 against Texas in garbage time when they pretty much just said, all right, y'all can't beat us. Do what you want. You're not gonna win. You know, so that's kind of what he's gonna give you. I haven't seen him really give you more than that while the game mattered, you know, without turning it over. So the fact that he did what he did and didn't turn it over, and he was, after the first couple drives, he was sharper, more decisive in his thinking, in his throwing. So that was just good to see. We got to take baby steps on what we get happy about now. So it was just good. So it was just good to see him be decisive and sharp, you know, like on the flea flicker. You know, I was like, okay, ain't nothing there. But he throws a dime. That was a dime.
To the corner route, yeah.
That was a laser. So it was good to see him decisive, and they felt it. Him and Orgy looked comfortable for about the first time this year, pretty much.
Yep, I think they do need to. What I would work on is creative ways to run the ball with Davis Warren on the field. It can't be, they can't zero it in that obviously. All right, run Alex Orgy past Davis Warren. We gotta have some mixing here where we can run the ball successfully with Davis Warren, and then on top of that, we gotta be able to mix in some passes with Alex Orgy as well to keep defenses honest. If this is going to be a successful system, right? The history of this season tells me they're going to want to try and fall in love with one guy, and they have to resist that temptation because it just hasn't been successful, right? And while I think there is a path to getting that done, we're so far beyond that being a possibility at this point in the season. So use them both to their advantage, and when one guy is hot, ride him. When he's not, don't try to force a square peg into a round hole anymore. Stop trying to make these guys what they're not. You know, if Davis Warren doesn't have it in one of these games coming up, he's not as accurate, he's not hitting it. Well, now you're at a point where you can lean on Alex Orgy without totally tanking his confidence now, because that's what we're doing anyways. That's what we're doing. So don't be afraid to use that. Use what you got.
Okay. Two more things, and I'll drop down. Yeah, I think they got to get some of those other guys involved on the outside a little bit more, because if Colston Loveland is our only receiving threat, you know, they'll just cancel him out really easily. Someone will, with the opponents we have left, they'll just key in on him, and yeah, the other guys catching 1 or 2 balls per game, I don't think that's going to cut it. You guys think at the end of the season You think Sharon gets axed, or they let him stay on a little bit longer?
I think he's gonna get longer. I think he is. This Michigan State game helped him. Now you still got 3 games that could really mess that up for him. If we get boat raced by Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State, he probably out of here. But if they show you muted again, bro.
My bad, y'all. I got the little one over here, so I'm trying to blare that out and keep the show going. But I was gonna say, I feel like all of those are acceptable losses. What's really troubling is that I still feel like there's a possibility of Northwestern. Like, it feels like a winnable game, right? But not so winnable that like it's a guarantee.
No, it ain't no guarantee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what's the record? If the bottom falls out this thing, and this was our last win of the season, it's hard to thinking that beating Jonathan Smith in his first year is going to keep your job if you didn't make a bowl game.
Man,
but we'll see. We can't let Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State blow us out. True.
As if he wants to keep his job. If you want him gone, you probably hoping that we do get, because then, so for him to keep his job, you're gonna have to show some coaching acumen in these big games. Because when you have less talent, it's about your coaching, your scheme, your execution. So you're gonna have to show something in these big time matchups, because Ohio State's gonna have more talent than us almost every year. So you're gonna always have to out coach them somewhat, Same with Oregon, probably with Phil Knight's money.
Yeah.
Now Indiana, we know what they is, but the rest of them. So this is your chance to show that I do belong here. Even if we lose, put up a good fight. Let us see it.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right, I'm gonna drop down, fellas. Go blue.
Go blue.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Go blue. That is the good Dr. Anwar. Mm-hmm. He has a channel, Big Discussion 76, and he's a good dude. He's a good brother. You know what I'm saying? So subscribe to his channel and, support the Michigan channels. Show your support. What up, Maniac?
Yo, give me a sec. What's going on, champions? Give me a second. I'm out here, daddy duty.
Oh, okay.
Real quick. Hold on.
Same. I need the same break. Johnny, get entertain the folks for about 30 seconds for me.
So, are you back? Hold on.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
How we doing, man? First of all, good Sunday, man. Good afternoon to both of you. I know yesterday morning, real quick, I know Marcus, Johnny, you was with the Ohio State fan. I forgot his name. He's a good dude. And that's not easy to say about Ohio State fans, right? So I know Marcus, he went in on Davis Warren, but deservedly so. I'm not disagreeing with him. I'm not saying that he was wrong. But based on what we saw, it was easy to say this was a bad decision. Obviously, it wasn't for this game. Thank you, Shara. Appreciate you. One thing that I like what I saw, and Johnny, you've been talking about it. I've been talking about it. The offense, for once, show some creativity, right?
Finally.
And when we did that, guess what happened? Good things or bad things happen.
Good things, great things.
This is simple, and some fans try to act like it's rocket science. Like, no, yes, it is. It is simple. So, Davis Warren, like, we got to give him the credit, man. I'm not saying he's the guy moving forward, because now he could come back against Oregon and throw 4 interceptions.
That's a fact.
It's like, oh, here we go. He had his fool again. But I did like that. This is the first game of the season. Zero turnovers. That's one. And I don't think the secondary had one penalty. Thank goodness, because we've been holding. We've been holding. We in the loving mode. We looking like Ohio State secondary because they hold. That's all they do. Grab and hold. And I'm keeping it real.
That's
But
a fact.
regardless, look, man. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because I know you guys been cooking for a minute. I like what I saw yesterday. That's the closest that Michigan has come from playing a complete game. It wasn't a complete game, but that was the closest. And it was a rivalry game. And say what we want. Yes, it was 7:30 on the Nickelodeon channel or MTV, whatever channel they had us playing on. But nonetheless, Michigan won the game. And they show something, right? They show something yesterday. Like, yo, maybe this team have some dog in them. Maybe they haven't quit. But a lot of that is going to be shown this Saturday when we play against Oregon. Again, I'm a realist. I love Michigan. Obviously, you got to favor Oregon. That's just the obvious. But I think the key, Johnny and Marcus, we got to put them in the phone booth. We got to put them in the phone booth. We can't get into a gunfight with Oregon. We're not going to win that. We don't have the offense to score 30, 40 points. So again, we got to run the ball. This is the game, but mix it up. Having Orgy come in finally. That's what we're saying. But I feel this game coming up, gentlemen, let's implement a pass from Orgy. Because Oregon is going to say, run, run, run. Okay, stupid. Right over your head. Touchdown, Coastal Loveland. So hopefully we can implement that this week. Regardless, I'm happy because that's a good birthday gift for me, right? We at the watch party. And now, we'll see what we made of. I heard you, Johnny and Marcus, about we cannot. I repeat, we cannot get cooked against Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State. And one of the statisticians, they could say let us know. When was the last time Michigan won a season without winning a road game? Because we at Indiana and at Ohio State. And those, we might not win the road game this year.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's something to look, at, but we'll see. Anyway, gentlemen, Marcus, Johnny, I appreciate y'all. You guys are wonderful brothers, very knowledgeable. Y'all talk y'all shit and y'all do it right and respectfully and always and forever. Go blue and bleep Ohio State.
Go blue, bro.
Go blue. Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah, happy belated, man.
Yes, sir. But yeah, that's the thing about this team this year. You have to be creative. Great coaches have a lot of talent and still get creative, eye candy, all of that stuff. That's why all of a sudden you have a prolific offense. It's like, man, these dudes are unstoppable, but a good coach will do that stuff when he has to. A great coach will do it regardless. Gonna leave no stone unturned. I'm gonna make sure this guy is going to be wide open. He probably doesn't even need me to do this, but I want to make sure he's wide open. I want to make you look stupid. I want to make you feel like you don't have a chance because I've already got better players than you and my scheme is better than yours. That's great coaching.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what is a good example of that? So Texas A&M upset LSU last night, right? And Texas A&M has a similar situation, not 1-to-1. They have a similar situation with us at quarterback situation wise, right? They're playing two guys. And so they have a runner and a passer. Their passer is Jalen Reed, I think his name is. And so they do the back and forth thing. Now LSU is wilting on the QB run and dudes getting off, right? So they lean into it. So Texas A&M leans into it. And guess what they do about 4 times? Swear, I think he threw for less than 10 attempts, but had like 100 yards. They threw deep down the field like 4 times, and he completed maybe 2 or 3 of them out of the 4. And there it was. We upsetting LSU. We dancing in Death Valley. You feel me? We doing the thing because their offensive coordinator was smart enough to see what was working, creative enough to lean into it, and not stubborn enough to switch away from the original game plan when it dictates. Right. That's the type of demeanor we need for the rest of the season. I thought it was encouraging to see Alex Orgy coming off the field and everybody hyping him up, him and Davis. And then they even snuck in a little hug there for him and Campbell. I know that can't be the most cozy relationship at the moment. But if they're going to get it done, they got to kind of figure this out for this season and then go from there. So I think the fact that everybody seems to still be focused on the same goal, Miles Hinton could be a first-round pick. Miles Hinton coming back and playing in this game and for the rest of the season is a big thing. I know people, are theorizing that Will's out for the rest of the season or he might just come back for the OSU game. I don't know. I don't blame him if not. I don't personally think he's that player, but we'll see what happens.
My boy Monk has been saying something's wrong with his shoulder. I'm not sure. My homeboy said that though. Something's wrong with his shoulder from the USA
Washington game, wasn't it?
No, it was USC when he got ran over.
Ran over, yeah.
So, and my thing is, Will Johnson's always dinged up. That's nothing new. Every year he's been dinged up. Every year he's been in and out. Sometimes he leaves the biggest game. He left the TCU game when we really needed him bad. Then you know what I'm saying? That's just him. He's a great player, but he's an injury-prone player. So we're not gonna know. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this dude has been healthy his whole time in Michigan, and now he's going
he's
bad.
sitting out. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it has to do with
he's always healthy. No, he's not. He's always hurt.
It's got more to do with his reputation as a player. To be honest with you, it's they know he's a lock first round pick, probably a lottery pick, and so late in the season, you don't have a postseason to play for. It starts becoming, all right, is he really hurt kind of thing. It's more narrative than I think anything. I think Will would tell you he was shutting it down. If he was shutting it down, I don't think he would have any.
And I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah, he would blame him.
I wouldn't blame him. After the USC game, when he got that last pick six, I said, hey, do what you do, brother. You done did enough for me. Hey, your watch is over for me. If you play, you play. If you don't, you don't. But you done gave me enough great memories.
For sure. I mean, it's hard to get mad at this crop of draftees, like you said, because they won us a national championship. So it's
exactly. It ain't like it's Jair Hill shutting it down.
Yeah, right.
National championship defensive MVP shutting it down.
Yeah.
His watch is over if it wants to be.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I get just thinking about the USC pick six, I get tingles. I'm tingling.
Gang. Said gang.
Yeah, like that dude, he's that dude, and he's dude has made some fantastic plays for us, like when we needed him to,
Yeah, clutch plays, not just stat patterns, but like plays when we needed it.
Exactly, and that's why I was getting on these Ohio State fans or other fan bases that try to talk about him. The reason he's that dude is because the most important thing is to get the ball back when you're on defense. Get the ball back. That's extra possessions for your offense. That's what he does. Denzel Burke, some of these other corners, they don't do that. When they get beat, they get beat. You keep throwing at Will, he gonna get us the ball back.
We need to hit. We need to take 5 shots and hit 3. And if we can run the ball consistently and do that, we can beat these guys, man. We can beat them because Nebraska should have beat them. There was a few mistakes that I felt like Nebraska made that kind of made the game. Number one, listening to damn Joel Klatt that wants you to go for it on 4th down every time you the underdog. I think if it's within 5 yards, they should just go. This is 4 down territory. Damn, shut up. I hate that calculus. I hate it because what was Nebraska going for at the end of the game? A touchdown, right? They were trying to score a touchdown. Well, if earlier in the 3rd, when they go for it on the goal line, right, or go for it on 4th down and don't get it, If they'd have taken the field goal then they would have been playing for a field goal to win the game, or assume they would have been playing for a field goal instead of a touchdown.
Ohio State game, Matt Rule playing scared pretty much 90% of the game.
That too.
Then wants to go for it on fourth. Bro,
well, they got the lead and then they got conservative, right? They got up and then all of a sudden it was okay to just hand the ball off.
Yeah.
They calling Kirk Campbell offense now.
He played that game terrified when it was pretty obvious that his defense was going to give him a chance to win it. But I guess he sees something similar to Aiden Childs last night, Michigan State's coach. Similar game plans. I don't trust my young quarterback to win it. To win it, I think he's going to lose it for me. So,
I thought it was obvious they had an advantage downfield, over the middle, outside the hashes. I thought their tight end played well. I thought it was very obvious they had an advantage going downfield, and they kept running the bubble. Even after you see Knowles has sniffed it out, right? So he's looping his defensive ends right into the blocking scheme for the bubble, and they keep running it. They ran it on a third down.
It was like, I don't know why he kept running those bubble screens. I was like, bro, this dude.
I'm like, man, he's taking it away. If anything, throw a middle screen. Come up underneath it, because he has his guys looping out into your blocks. Why are you throwing right into it?
It was wild because Dylan Raiola was scrambling for big yards. He was getting crucial first downs and stuff early in the game just by dropping back. I would have kept doing that until it made Ohio State really adjust to that. But the screens, I'm not sure why he kept running those screens, bro. It's not working. Scrap it.
He had it sniffed out. Like, that was the one thing he wanted to take away from them, and he did. And they belligerently kept going back, even when the distance didn't dictate that as a play. I couldn't understand it.
Yeah, y'all was stressed out. I was enjoying it. I didn't have to troll. See, I don't a lot of the times, and this is what people get me twisted, and I'm gonna bring you up in a second, Daniel. A lot of the times I don't go into these spaces wanting to troll. I just come in and I put champs with the trophy. That's my introduction. That's me saying hey to everybody, because my profile thing is a Michigan symbol. So I'm a Michigan fan. Boom, champs. You know what it is. Michigan fan in the chat. We're the champs. And then people get mad because I do that, and they think I'm trolling because I'm saying champs. No, we're the champs. I'm a Michigan fan. We're the champs. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trolling.
But tell them to cry more, Johnny. Tell them cry more. We like them tears over here.
Yeah, so people think I'm trolling in all these chats, and then they start talking. And then once you start talking, I'm finna start trolling. I live for the trolling in the chats. Like, I kind of live for it. You know what I'm saying? So the other day I was getting started and my girl called me. Boy, I was finna get ready to cook them in Minister Sports chat. I was so ready because I was just chilling. And then somebody, I think it was Goj, said something about me. And I'm like, oh, okay. Ohio State. Do y'all remember how it feels to win the Big Ten? Do you? OSU fan,
I don't know if it's gonna happen this year either. Too, that Penn State's still ahead of them, Oregon's still ahead of them.
I'm gonna start talking crazy.
Indiana.
I'm gonna start, and then I start talking crazy because the thing about me is I know what it is, but I know what to say that's gonna get under your skin. I know, I just know the stuff. Like Ohio State fans, do you still know how it feels to win a championship? Do you know the feeling? Like, do you still remember the joy? That joy done faded. You don't remember.
I know no one on the team does. I know no one on the team does.
Let me bring you up, Daniel.
What's up?
What's going on, man?
What's up, bro?
Man, great win. Great team win.
We needed it.
Oh, yeah. Because there was a moment when they struck first and then we had those few drives where we weren't moving the ball. It felt like here we go again. And it almost felt like we might not see the end zone.
Man. When that momentum changed, it really changed, and we needed it.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Josiah Stewart for the sack fumble.
Yep, because like when he scored and then missed the extra point, it's like, oh no, hopefully that does not hunt us down.
Yeah.
And then when the sack fumble happened, it felt even great going into the locker room with a lead.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't have imagined how horrible it would have felt losing to Michigan State, a team that you blew out 49-0 a year ago.
Yeah, yep. That would have been horrible,
Hmm.
because they're not that good, you
Yeah,
know.
that would just pretty much tell us we're really that bad. And then I think Sharon's seat would have started bursting in hot flames.
That's a fact because that's a rivalry game. But regardless
Hmm.
if they're good or not, don't lose to them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They
Hmm.
don't have talent like Ohio State, so there's no real excuse.
Exactly.
Ohio State, you just want to this year have a good showing that you're competent, that maybe you can
Hmm.
coach them up. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
Michigan State, come on, bro, you can beat them. Like, come
Yep.
on.
Oh yeah, and against Ohio State, if Wink comes out with a good defensive game plan, we have a shot. Because just look at Ohio State's offense; like it was stagnant yesterday, and even last year there were a lot of games where their offense was stagnant, and we're seeing that this this year again.
I think it's easy to because they can't run in short yardage, even when their offensive line was healthy.
Hmm.
It's easy to kind of scheme them into spots they don't want to be.
Hmm.
Uh, 3rd and 3, 4th and 2. Like those are bad spots for them because
Hmm.
they can't get push in short yardage running the ball with either one of them. Right? There was a couple times yesterday um
Hmm.
where they went to Juggins, but they just couldn't get any push at all. And so now he looks a little bit
Right.
different when you can get contact on him from 0 to 2. Right?
Hmm.
They were getting holes for him earlier in the year. He wasn't getting touched until 5 yards. It
Hmm.
looks a little bit differently when you can touch him at 0, touch him at 1, touch him at 2 because the offensive line is not pushing as much as they were earlier in the year. So I think that, like you said, a good game plan to win early downs, right?
Hmm.
Maybe you can see second down because you know that 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, right? 3rd and less than 5 for Ohio State is a bad spot for them to be in. They have to throw the
Hmm.
ball. So I,
Right.
I I think there is a strategy in that, but there's so much before we even get to that. There is so much season still for us.
Yeah, because we gotta see how we show against Oregon
Yeah.
next week. Because
Yep.
we can get blown out if we like play like we did the last two road games. We will get blown out.
Yeah. Agreed.
Hmm. How are you feeling? How are y'all feeling about Oregon game? Do you see a blowout?
I don't know. It depends on how Wink calls the game to me, and
Yeah,
Kirk Campbell. We can't really put our foot down on and count on these guys yet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like what I would like to see from moving forward is, like Davis Warren showed he's a better passer, and like with more creative plays and then put Orgy in to like extend drive. That's what we should be doing moving forward.
Some good offensive play calling that may work.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
the way they used Orgy yesterday was good.
Yeah, I mean that was on the table since week 1. So yes, it was great. It was a little frustrating to see it that way or that late, excuse me, but
Mm-hmm.
it's there, right? So even on some of the things that Davis didn't do well, they have
Hmm.
something to compensate it, like you said, and so they can't be shy about leaning into it when he needs it or when the team needs
Hmm.
it. No.
Like Davis Warren's numbers, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Cade McNamara type of number, like kind of like when he played Ohio State a few years ago,
Mm.
like 13 and 19. Did what he was asked to do.
Now let me challenge you though. What did Cade have the benefit of when he had those numbers, a 13 of 19 type of
He,
night?
he had a Joe Moore offense.
in a running game, right? You know what I'm saying? See, he had a stomach to put the ball in that he could guarantee himself 5 yards. They have to find a way to run the ball when he's in because it's such a stark difference, right? Like I don't think you want Alex Orji to be your leading rusher. If he is, great, but not because the other two guys can't get free. The only time that we've been able to get backs free is when we've had a running threat at quarterback this year, whether that was Orji or Tuttle. It kind of zeroes it out with Warren, so they have to get that together.
Right. And and man, if we beat Ohio State this year, you're gonna see Johnny cooking and setting out the bonfire if we somehow beat them.
Would you sell all the other games for the rest of the year to beat them at the end of it? Now that's 6-6 now. That's 6-6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I would, because it would be worth it because they gonna burn their house down.
Yeah, think about all that money they spent for a championship wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they would probably still make the playoff at 10-2, right? Maybe
they would, but they probably. I mean, they make the playoff, but
if they lose,
they still can't talk about us unless they feel right.
If they lose to Penn State and then us, they're out, and that'll be the funniest thing to see. Not even make the playoffs with that $1 million roster.
Yeah, their pumpkin. I mean, their chariot would turn into a pumpkin if that happened. You know what I'm saying? They just expect that they're going to actually beat us by 50 this year. You know what I'm saying? So the devastation of seeing them eat each other alive, is so priceless. Like it's priceless.
Because I've seen your car lives before saying, if you don't win the Natty, I win. That's what you said, Johnny.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Because you said like during the week, you said, if you beat us, congratulations. You beat one of the worst coach Michigan teams ever.
Exactly. You know, we beat them when it was a top 5, top 3, top 5, top 10 matchup.
Yeah,
you know,
especially that 2022 Ohio State team was loaded, and we beat them by 22 at their house.
Exactly. So
the 2021 team was supposed to have 3,000-yard wide receivers on it.
Yeah, both of them teams
took care of it.
Had crazy offensive players.
Yeah, and beating up on a broken down Michigan team is not an accomplishment.
Now, I will say this, right? Just because I've had to spend my whole life here in Columbus, and so I feel a little bit differently about this. Like, if they beat us, I gotta give it to them. Like, they beat us. It is what it is. Because you know why? For years, I've heard them try to discredit the 2011 win. Right? Now, all year in 2011, they were terrible. They were bad. They were 6-16. But do you think that they thought they was going to lose to us at the end of the year? Hell no. It didn't matter. It didn't matter who we beat. It didn't matter that we beat Notre Dame earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Didn't matter about the Michigan State game, and we lost the Michigan State game that year. Nothing really mattered to them. They weren't going to lose to us. They were going to march Braxton Miller out to Ann Arbor, and they was going to win that game, right? And it didn't happen, and we won it.
Yeah.
They have been trying to discredit that win for 14 years.
Yeah.
Oh, Luke Fickell was coaching. It was it was the vacated season. No Terrell Pryor, no Tressel. So if they beat us, they beat us. Now the ball knowers know that there's something there, right? There's an obvious discrepancy in what you were supposed to do and what we were supposed to do. But you just kind of take it on the chin, man. I'm still gonna take. At least I'm gonna still take mine. It is what it is.
I mean, they get bragging rights, but it's like, bro, you beat a horrible Michigan team or a bad Michigan team, like.
And their biggest
job.
I mean, that's the reality, right? But they still get the brag.
Yeah, you still get the bragging rights, but it ain't much to brag about. That's the thing.
Yeah, because their big goal that they have. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you, Johnny. What were you gonna say?
And you know, I hear Ohio State fans talk all the time. You know, whether they're on here or whether I'm on their pages. And when we were beating them, they started this narrative that the game didn't matter anymore.
They sure
all we care about is natties.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yep.
we care about is natties, and that's why I
Hmm.
said,
Ooh, I
Daniel,
would love it. Oh
if
Oh
yes, I
y'all
would
yeah.
don't
love
win
to
the
throw it back
natty, I
at him.
win.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
win.
Because that's their
So
biggest goal this year. Make the playoff, win the natty. That's their
exactly,
that's and yeah, I remember the times when we beat them and we failed in the playoffs. They would just like lean on. You know, when we lost to TCU, they would just bring up TCU, and it's like it doesn't matter. We still beat you.
man. So
Like
the
they
goalpost
find
gets moved.
like yeah, they move the post, and it's like they say all we care about is championships, and they haven't won one in a whole decade.
That's why I said, do y'all remember the feeling, that joy? I know all three of us remember the feeling
Mhm. It
because we're the
it
current champs. It's
Yeah,
still
in
Mhm.
feeling good.
2014, we were all disgusted when Ohio State won, and we were having a horrible season that year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think we got to worry about this season.
Oh, yeah. And quick thing about that 2011 win, have you watched Michigan podcast Steve Dace? When we were losing 8 in a row, I remember Steve Dace saying that win does not count because you beat an interim coach, and then he said it's pathetic that you could only get a win against him when they had their interim. And he said, I would have rather just lost that one too.
I am not really into self-deprecating Michigan fans. I
Yeah, I would
think
never.
I
A
never say
win
no
is a
shit like that.
win. You know.
Yeah.
I think,
You know him. He
Hmm.
yeah,
you going to the you going to the movies while we good, and it's not
yeah,
like
right, right. Here's what I'll say about Ohio State's run here in the 2000s. Right, it did something to a group of
Hmm.
Michigan fans where it made them so apathetic that they built their Michigan personas around hating on Michigan
Hmm.
football. Like, oh yeah, we just gonna
yeah.
chalk up Ohio State, Ohio State game. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Yeah, we're gonna talk regular football all the year and then get to the Ohio State game and talk about it like it's a foregone loss. Not even try to talk scheme, watch tape, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like those certain guys are guys I don't respect now because you were playing a completely different game before Michigan got on this roll. So
Hmm.
I'm not into that. I'll never be into that. Even if Michigan hadn't won a game all season, I'm never
Hmm.
doing that. I'm never gonna give it to you like that. You know?
Right. Yeah. Because, Steve Dace is something.
He's
No,
something
for
else
sure.
with himself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because, man, it was just hilarious, like, picturing him at watching Ghostbusters Afterlife and then, like, missing out on that great legendary win. Even
Mhm.
people on Twitter said you missed a legendary moment.
Oh yeah. If you missed that 2021, the first
Hmm.
one, 2021, if you missed that game because you chose not to watch or whatever you were like, and you're a fan, oh, you missed it. That was
Yeah,
what it was all about. All that pain, all that anguish, and we beat a good Ohio State team. Yeah, their
Exactly.
defense was trash, but it was a pretty good team.
they were a very
Yeah.
good team.
With a very good QB.
They
Yeah,
would have been 11-1 going into the playoffs had they beat us. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
the snow, the scenery, all of it.
they
The
won a Rose
moment was
Bowl that year.
unbelievable.
Yeah, they
Like
won a
Yeah.
Rose Bowl that year.
It was
it was
awesome. I watched that at Buffalo Wild Wings, and I was so nervous that I could not eat. I first just ordered a drink, and once we won, I ordered food and just enjoyed watching other games while eating. It was an awesome afternoon.
Not for sure.
no, no. Yeah, that game was something you're gonna remember where you were at when that one happened. I was
Oh
I was
yeah,
in Orlando at the resort watching it with my nephew and my pops. So it was three
nice.
generations watching us
Hmm.
finally get back to
Finally get
winning
it.
against OSU. It was a beautiful moment.
Were
I
you
was in
watching at the
Cleveland.
hotel room or on your phone?
Hmm?
Were you watching in the hotel room or on your phone?
Oh no, we were at a resort, so we
Hmm.
had it on the TV.
Little situation.
Nice.
Yeah, I was in Cleveland in the middle of the winter, man, up there in MLK. Uh,
Hmm.
running up and down the street, screaming "Go Blue!" I was so hype. I ain't care. Not an area you want to be doing that either, but it was worth it. Definitely worth it.
And the
Yeah,
win in
man.
the shoe was awesome. That was one of my top five favorites over the last 3 years. Winning in the shoe and Mike Sanders still planting the flag on the block O.
That was beautiful too.
Perfect.
Playing
Yeah.
that flag.
Yeah. Yeah, with
That's
these
a fact.
Ohio State
Stealing.
fans, like you think after what were you gonna say? I didn't mean to cut you, Marcus.
No, you're good. There was a comment on there that said we broke Saban. And I said absolutely, that's a fact.
Oh yeah, but yeah, like oh yeah. What was I gonna
My
say?
bad, man.
Oh yeah, like after beating them for 3 years, like you would think Ohio State would finally take their medicine and stop talking, and then they're still acting like they've done something. Like they just keep talking. Like you'd think after 3 defeats they'd be humble and acknowledge that we've been better, but they're still like, yeah.
Yeah, they, Ohio State fans. They've dominated Michigan for so long that they just feel like they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get there quickly either. Like we were convincing ourselves for a lot of the hardball era, at least the first half of it, that this
Mm-hmm.
was a competitive rivalry. Like we were where we needed to be
Mm-hmm.
as a program to actually compete with them. And it wasn't until he completely wilted on that idea after the 2020 season and being like, look, it's win or die trying at this point, right? Like
Yeah.
he bared out his desperation to get that game. And he had to be honest because that's where we were at. I don't know. I don't know if that's what it is down here in Columbus. I don't know if they're that honest about how desperate they are to win that game and how much of a mental strain it is. That's what neither side will tell you while they're in the middle of it. Right? You hear guys talk about it now and they talk about how hard that game weighed on them before they had to play it. How much pressure it was to step into that game and play for all the expectation of the university, of the team, of the state, right? Like there's a lot there. Ohio State players are feeling that same pressure. So regardless of what the dynamics are, regardless of the talent levels and the record, that mountain still has to be climbed. You still have to get over that hill. You got to complete that task. It's not just something that is handed to you because you're supposed to have it. If that was the case, then Texas Oklahoma would be a much more competitive series over the last 10 years than it has been.
Yeah.
You have to get over that mental hump of beating your rival. It's a thing. So that's why we at least still have a chance.
Yeah, like nothing's handed to you. You got to work for it.
Yep. Sure.
Gotcha. You got anything else, Daniel?
Yep. So yeah, hopefully next week we're talking about a victory because honestly, if we beat Oregon, fans will storm the field. If we beat Oregon next Saturday.
Oh yeah.
And then you'll be eating your apple.
That's a fact. I will pull the big game apples out for that one. Definitely. Because nobody's expecting us to beat them.
Yep. We're a 4-point underdog, I saw in the spread.
To Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah. I was about to say under a touchdown feels good. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Got you.
The game's at home too. And we still haven't lost a Big Ten game at home like since 2020. So our Big Ten games at home, we still have that undefeated record. But overall, we won 27 of the last 28 home games in the Big House.
Nice.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Let me bring some.
All right. Go Blue, and let's hope we're talking about victory next Sunday.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Go Blue. Let's see. Hurrah. I'm pulling you up, Cameron. Yo.
Yo, what's up, guys? Can you hear me?
What's going on, man?
Yep. What's going on?
Yo, go Blue.
Go Blue.
Yo, like, I'm not gonna start off by being negative on Campbell. I won't do it today. All right. It was a win over a much hated rival. Sparty, as always, has no class whatsoever. And I think like the most dangerous Sparty teams are trash teams like that one. Like that was a bad Sparty team. And those are the ones that will 100% fight you at the end. Like I was expecting a fight. I actually was expecting a fight earlier in the game, but they ain't got no class. So, they got stomped out. So that's what happens. But I think that was a good win. the play calling, it is what it is at this point. You know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. I mean, I feel like when I watch the games, cause like I can't take too much moving forward. I can't take too much, positivity because like the plays I'm watching, like the flea flicker, the halfback pass, it's like we've all seen this before. Like they all know that these are plays that Michigan likes to run. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that they worked. You know what I mean? But again, like that was a bad Sparty team. You know what I mean? Like the fact that those plays worked is just kind of like, yeah, they're a trash team. Like it's going to work on them. I don't know how that's going to work next week or the week after that or on the last weekend of November, but it is what it is. I think this game and the USC game for me were like big games that I really wanted to win. Because losing to Sparty is just insufferable, man. Especially that team. They're so bad. You know what I mean? Like it was one thing, I guess, to lose, in 21 to a team that was, pretty good. You know, I mean, they were like 11-2 that year, but like that team was just not good at all. I don't know if Kenneth Walker slipped into the locker room and put on number 5 or something like that, but that guy was, you talked about it too, Marcus. I was like, who is this guy, dog? Like,
Yeah.
he's out here spin moving, just breaking dudes off all game. I'm like, come on, man. The run game, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but the run rushing defense was very concerning in that game because they were getting gashed all game long. I don't know. I watched the replay today, and it just looked like guys were getting blown off the ball too much, man. I don't know if it was just a rivalry game or something like that, where Sparty, of course, is going to bring their A game, for this game, no matter how bad they are. But hopefully we can get that kind of toned down next week. Oregon does like to run it, but they're going to spread us out more, and they got so many dangerous guys on the edge that if we're playing that off coverage stuff that we were doing yesterday, it's going to be a long, long day. Like giving guys, like you talked about this too, Johnny, in your video, that receiving touchdown where the guy had like a 5-yard cushion when he caught the ball, and like nobody was there when he caught it, and then like you could tell that he was kind of bracing for the hit, but then it never came, so he just cut up field. And it's like, man, yeah, it's like that same thing happened in the Texas game. The same thing happened really all season long, where they're playing off coverage and giving guys too much space to operate. Next week, you can't do that, man. These guys love to run after the catch. But I mean, overall, good win. You know what I mean? Get it together for next week. I just think, I don't know. I mean, I watched the orgy package, and it just feels like a shell of what this offense could be doing. I'll just say this about Campbell. This is the last thing I want to say. One thing about Campbell. Do you guys watch the Vanderbilt game or any of that? Like that Vanderbilt. Yeah. Okay. So I watched like the second half of that game. The Vanderbilt offense, and I watched a lot of the Alabama game. The Vanderbilt Alabama. Yeah. That Vanderbilt team does not have like dudes who will play in the NFL. They don't. The quarterback is from New Mexico State, transfer. They got a bunch of little guys and stuff like that. So what I'm going to pose this question, and I know it probably sounds rhetorical, but like, how can they on a week in, week out basis put a competent offense together that scores points in the SEC, but Michigan can only muster up 24 points against Sparty, a bad Sparty team, and 7 points the week before that against Illinois? You know what I mean? It's just like, when you compare apples to apples, when you compare teams like that, and you look at it like that, there's really no excuse for like, oh, it's the players. Oh, it's the quarterback. Do I think that we have anybody close to JJ out there? No. But these are still Division One players, guys who deserve to be playing D1 ball. Maybe not Warren, but okay, but guys who are on a big time team, and it's like y'all can't put out a competent offense, and we have two very good running backs. And I would say let's be kind. Average receivers and an All-American tight end. And then like I would say an average line. Okay. Is it Joe Morrow winning line? Is it the line from last year? No. But I would say it's an average line. With those tools on a weekend basis, a competent OC would be able to scheme out points. When I see Campbell on the sideline, and I don't know if you saw that one clip of him where he was on the sideline where the camera got him. He had just called a rush for about 2 yards, and the camera's on him, and my man is like shaking his head, looking at the play sheet, and like deep sighing, and he's looking at the play sheet like, I don't know. Like he like shrugs, like, I don't know. What can I call? What can I call? And it's like, man, it's like I felt bad for him, dog. Like, see, I'm not a monster, you know what I mean? I don't want him to be, I don't want him to, be, destitute or whatever. I felt bad for him in that moment, man, because he just looks out. He looks like he has his head below water, man. He's just drowning out there, dude. And it's just like, you're playing Sparty, dude. You're playing a bad Sparty team. What's going to happen next week? Like, I don't know. But I don't know. What do you guys think about next week?
You said a lot, bro. I feel like going back to what you said about Vanderbilt's offense and how they find a way to use their pieces. We were saying that I was just mentioning about the A&M offense and how they have two quarterbacks and what they ended up going to beat LSU. Right. It is happening at other places where they have less talent and they just find a way to make it work. We've theorized on what it actually is on the show before without necessarily going back down that road. We're here. And so I feel like, to your point about, some of the throws, the halfback pass, the flea flicker, Jim Costa said it when we were playing Washington and things were going well for Tuttle. They said, yeah, they're moving the ball. It looks good, but they're protecting him a lot. They're trick playing. They're doing a lot of misdirection. They haven't really asked him to drop back and throw yet. Right. And so that's why it was encouraging for me to see Davis on one of those drives, at least throw it into the end zone. Because as I was saying last week, going into this game, the leader in passing TDs on his team was Alex Orji, right? And he had the best TD to interception ratios, what still does to this day. I think he has the most total touchdowns on the team, or excuse me, at the quarterback position on the team. So it was encouraging to see him be able to throw the ball in the end zone for a score, because that is some of the stuff you're going to need to get from him if he's going to continue to play. Right. You need him to be able to hit that throw. You need him to be able to take advantage of play action where you get heavy run action and the linebackers are stalling. They're stiff. They're pausing. You need to be able to take advantage of that. And he did a few times. Other times he didn't. So it's very up in the air, man. But I think if you wanted to look day and night from what it's looked like this year, you got to go another direction. Not advocating either way. I'm just saying it's never going to look too much different from what it looked like last night.
And I'll give credit where credit's due. He's got a good arm. He has a good arm. That ball to Tyler Morris was a great throw. Shades of JJ, I dare say, that was a great throw. But the main thing in that game was that he didn't turn the ball over. Really, I mean, you look at this game, like, it came down to the turnover. If you look at the score, right?
Yeah. Turnovers.
The fact that we scored, Yeah, I mean, like it's pretty much for this team, it's impossible to win games averaging two turnovers a game.
Mhm.
3 turnovers last week. It's impossible. Even with that, no turnovers yesterday. They only won by 7 against a bad team. Um, but like I said, Davis can be a serviceable quarterback for this team when he's not throwing 3 picks a game. You know what I
Facts.
mean? He's got a
Mhm.
good arm. I'm not. I'll give him props. He's got a good arm, but his decision making has got to be better moving forward to give
Even
this
last
offense
night,
a
it
chance.
was a little bit hit or miss. There, he
Oh
didn't
yeah.
turn it over, and I give him credit for that. But that doesn't mean he still didn't make bad decisions. Johnny mentioned it earlier
Hmm.
on the pass to Loveland where he had him wide open on third down. He bails out and goes right. He does it again the exact same way on another third down, bails
Hmm.
before the protection actually breaks down. But this
Hmm.
time he kind of throws back across his body to Samaj and gets a completion. I don't think that type of stuff is going to be there consistently. So he has to be better, just like everyone else on offense has to be better. I think one thing we haven't mentioned today is that Gentry went down, and that's going to
Yeah.
be that scares me, man, because they put Link back in, and I thought they would
Yeah.
put Percy in, but they went back to Evan Link,
Mhm.
and I just don't know what to make of that if we're going to be without Gentry for any extended amount of time. So those are a
Yeah.
couple things I'm looking out at.
Yeah. There definitely was a throw in the fourth quarter with like 5 minutes left. It wasn't the last drive. It might have been the second to last drive
Mm.
where they went 4 wide and he went through his progressions and the option he chose was a sideline toss throw to Peyton O'Leary. And I'm like, bro, that cannot be your option, man. Like
Was
Peyton
that when
O'Leary,
he had Loveland going up the seam?
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
I got you. Yep.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, like I'm not saying to lock on it, but like it's like he went through his reads, which is like, okay, yeah, you weren't going through your reads. You weren't
And
doing
then
that
picked
last
the
time.
wrong
But
one.
then you picked Peyton O'Leary. And it's like the ball was also catchable. So like maybe like a good one of our better receivers would have caught that. But it's like, bruh, of the options you picked Peyton O'Leary, which is like, okay. Okay. I'm not gonna bash the kid, but it's just like, man, let's just be real. Like when we talk about our receivers, like even the top 4, Peyton's not that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. I mean, I just think as far as Wink goes, he's that stubborn uncle, man. He's that stubborn unc. You know what I mean? Like can't tell him nothing. Always got something to say. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. Still putting 55 I'm sorry, on defense.
Mason.
Mason Graham. Still putting Mason Graham in the tight end in the D end position. I still don't understand that. And the thing about it is like I watched when he does it like out of a stunt, but it's a funky stunt because they do the stunt action pre-snap. And it's like if you're trying to surprise teams with a unusual look, Mason Graham out the defensive end position ain't it. One, we've done it multiple times this season. Two, that's not a strength for him. So it's like, what's the point of doing that? But like I said, just like Campbell, I just throw my hands up. But I'll give props to the linebackers. Linebackers had a good game. Not that first quarter, but like after that, they had a good game. I saw that kid number 13, the transfer from Tennessee, getting some run at safety
Wesley Walker. Yes.
yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, he
More.
had.
Give me more.
Yeah, I mean, he got burned on that one touchdown, but on that fourth down play, he made a really nice tackle where he accelerated really hard and made a really nice tackle. And I was like,
He
who's that?
saved him from getting the first down. I don't know
Yep.
what it was about those traps or those outside zones on like third and long that gave
Mhm.
them so much trouble. But that shit was annoying me. And it was like you said, one of those plays. Walker came from the opposite side of the field and had to get him on the
Yep.
ground for he picked up the first down. So I would like to see
Yep.
more of Wesley Walker, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And I mean, and also like, I mean, I'll say this about Wink. How many screens did they throw in that game? Like 3 to 4, and a
Yeah.
lot, and I think all of them worked for at least a first down. That's showing you that your defense is acting too aggressively, man. That you're being too aggressive out there. Like this is a defense. I mean, sorry, this is an offense. You can play them straight up, man. You don't need to blitz six on Michigan State. Like you just don't need to do it. But they were waiting for it. They were ready for it. That's them scheming and scouting you, Wink. Like shades of Don Brown, like what are you gonna do? But yeah, good win, go blue. So let's just talk about the good times. You guys were talking on the last caller about 2021. I watched that game at home. I was in Michigan at the time for Thanksgiving. My only regret is that I didn't go. I had a ticket with my uncle, and we were like, man, we were both too nervous to go to the game, so we watched it at home, and we regretted it. But I would never pull a Steve Dace and do what he did. To go watch Ghostbusters Afterlife? I mean, not even a good Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's like, come on, bro. Yeah, I can't stand that dude. And no,
Yeah,
and Marcus, I know you don't talk. I know you guys don't talk politics, but yeah, you know how he is on politics, man. It's
Yeah.
like,
And
yeah,
and that
dude.
that could have been cool too, for him if he would have just left it out of his podcast, but he just found a way to bleed that
Yeah,
stuff over. So it was a little weird.
yeah. But I think the best win was 0-2. I mean, that was JJ was just cooking that game, man. And I mean, that was one of the greatest performances I've seen from a Michigan quarterback and I think it probably in my lifetime. Just the leadership, the throws. I think the best touchdown in that game for me was the rushing touchdown he had, where they got to the line and he saw the advantage on the left side and he tapped the tackle on the hip like we're going this way, and then he just chucked the safety. That was just that for me. That was the game right there, man. That dude, he could just do it all. I love
yeah.
JJ. I miss him so much. JJ was the goat. But yeah, man, good win. Go blue. Appreciate y'all.
All right, bro. Go blue.
Go
Appreciate it.
blue.
All right, this is probably the last call right here. Cameron McKinney, come on down.
What's up, Cam? Go blue. I'll be right back.
Hey, go blue, man. What's up, y'all?
What up, man?
I like the win, but man, we are very, very inconsistent.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We are inconsistent. We we'll get a good drive together. Defense take the ball back, we'll go right three and out. Then the defense will give up a good drive, give a field goal. Then the offense will go down, do a nice drive, and do a field goal. It's like we can't put together a one half or a one quarter. That was I like the win, bro, but inconsistency, man. And I'm gonna be honest. I think this year I'm gonna put it on coaches 50% and players 50%.
You think so?
Yeah, because of the confidence of the coaches. Johnny, do you see any confidence of the coaches this year so far?
No, no.
So by me saying that, what it do trickle down to the players? If the coaches don't have confidence, what's gonna happen, Johnny?
Yeah, I don't have no trust in the coaches. I didn't have any coach trust in the coaches. I've been blaming them 80, 75, probably 75%.
Yup. And now look what's happening. The players don't have any confidence. So if the coaches don't have no confidence, 9 times out of 10, the players not gonna have any confidence. And this what we gonna see in 2024 this season. Inconsistency through the whole season. And that's all I have. It's nothing good we can take out of these wins. Because if you look at it, we got outgained, rush, and almost outthrown. So nationality, we should have lost this game.
9 times out of 10, you do.
9 times out of 10, you lose the game. So what confidence do we have today to talk about this team after a win?
Well, you always take the dub. You take the dub any way you can get it. I
I
think,
understand that. I take
yeah.
the dub. But where's our confidence saying, you know what? That's our hat that we could put on. That play right there works all the time.
Well, I would say, but I don't think that's where we leaning into all the way. So I'm gonna let them ride. It's about the only one thing that I seen that felt dominant last night. But that it is just not the way that they want to go in terms of, starting and leaning into that wholly. So I would say that probably the best thing that you could take away from last night is that they played clean. Is that maybe it didn't look well in terms of, production yardage wise, but they didn't turn the ball over. They didn't get penalized either along the offensive line or in the defensive secondary, which is an improvement. So that is what I would hang my hand on, is playing clean football.
Yeah, but we still got pushed around. We
A bit,
couldn't
yep.
tackle.
At times. Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and we
I
still
mean,
giving up.
you gotta swallow the pill, right? Because we are where we are. We're 5-3. So it's like we gotta work towards the perfect performance because we still haven't seen it yet, right? Like we gotta take the small victories and make that amount into something by the time we play at the end of the season. And what make it so crazy is that we have to play Oregon next week.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
you don't really have a lot of time to kind of, you have to be better. You don't have a choice, or we're gonna be feeling like we was feeling 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
So it's just hard for me because I'm looking at other teams that stumble the next week. They blowing people out. They seeing progress.
Mm-hmm.
Like like um like look at Colorado. Everybody was talking about Dion is not a good coach. Oh, he can't coach. He doing clicks and lights. And they are what, 6-2?
Mm-hmm.
They also got an easy schedule, bro. They in the Big 12.
Yeah, but yeah, I get that, Johnny. But the way they are playing, it's much better than last year. They have improvement
Oh, you mean year over year improvement?
year over year.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, the consistency, I say the belief in Coach Prime.
Well, we can't say that because this is his first year coaching.
Yeah, but we got to understand they've been on that team for at least 4 years.
Who, Sharon?
Sharon Moore, Kurt Campbell, it is Greg Newsom,
Grant Newsom. Yep.
and Ronnie Bell. Not Ronnie Bell, but
Ron
Ronnie
Bellamy.
Ron
Bellamy.
Bellamy. Yep.
Bellamy. So they have the culture. So it shouldn't change.
That's what we thought, but obviously that
We took
wasn't
that for
true.
granted. We took that, and I think they took it for granted too. I think they were light on a lot of these players. It feels that way. I can't say, I don't got no insider information, but it feels like since they thought that nothing was changing, that they didn't have to straighten up. Like I imagine when Kalen DeBoer came into Bama, there was a come to Jesus moment. Like, all right, yeah, we congratulate, and we ended the season in the Rose
Mhm.
Bowl last year. Nick's gone. Y'all belong to me. I'm your
Mhm.
daddy now. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
imagine that happened at some point. I don't think that come to Jesus moment happened with Sharon and his team because he feels like he's using the same role that he had when Harbaugh was here, and ain't nobody else doing Harbaugh's spot. Like he's
Mhm.
being the same type of guy he was as an offensive coordinator, and not the Sharon Moore that's a head coach. And maybe they start to get that, or they got it this week. I want to hope Let's put some positivity on it and say that they got some of that this week, and that goes throughout the season. They got Kirk Campbell acting like Gaddis. They like, nah, bring your ass out the booth. Come on, come down here.
Yeah.
I know what that is. That's not a decision. That is a coaching edict. That is, hey, you come stand next to me unless in case I need to snatch that play sheet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what that is.
Okay, so I want to ask y'all guys a question for next week. Okay, we have one thing that we could take away Oregon's on the offensive end. What would it be? It would be the running game or the passing game.
Naturally, you
You
say the
always
run.
want to stop the run.
Yeah, you
Stop
want to
the
make it
run.
one-dimensional.
And they don't pass that. They don't pass that well. It's a lot of sideways passing, so you have to tackle. So if you can tackle well, you're fine. You know what I'm saying? Stop the run, tackle well when they do catch those little swing passes and screens.
Yeah.
And you should be able to slow them all the way down. You know what I'm saying? Just with those things.
The best passing game, is at a disadvantage if they can't run the ball at all. If you got to drop back and throw every single down, you're at a disadvantage. So I would agree. I'd say stop the run first and then tackle well in those situations where they're trying to attack you laterally.
So this game, Wink should not blitz at least by 3 times this game.
This isn't.
See, I don't know in terms of play calling. I know there's certain situations that they're going to be trying to get the ball out extremely fast. And so playing off in that situation doesn't really benefit you. It doesn't. Sitting back and waiting for him to come to you doesn't benefit you. You got to kind of break up the rhythm. So it's more of when he calls the blitzes as opposed to how much. Let them dictate how much you blitz. Right? If they're going to hand the ball off, if they're going to drop back pass, then you don't have to blitz. If they are going to go to quick game and they're trying to get the ball on the flankers, you're going to have to do something to disrupt that timing. You have to.
So I say for next week, man, the keys on the defense is tackle.
Yeah.
Tackle better. If they tackle better in space, it's going to be hard for Oregon to move against us, because that means when they throw the short patches, we get stop them at least to 3 to 4 yards a game, and that's a win for us. And then getting off on third downs.
That's a fact.
Wink just has to be careful with that blitz. If the team is throwing screens, you don't want to. If a team's passing, part of their passing offense is getting rid of the ball quick. You don't want to blitz all the time. I want to get rid of it quick. The blitz makes me get rid of it quick. You're blitzing for nothing, bonehead.
Not all the time. No, it's about where you bringing the pressure from, right? So I think pressure right up the gut in a quarterback space anytime is disruptive, whether he's throwing to the flats or he's throwing downfield. I think where he gets messed up is he gets caught bringing pressure from the side where they're
the wide side.
He brings pressure from the side where they throwing the ball, which is the most damning thing.
Notice that. That's the problem.
Yes.
No, it's his MO. So they're prepared for it.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about it, y'all, when they blitz from the wide side, the safety stay right there. He don't move up. He don't move when the blitz move. So when they blitz from the wide side, the safety do not move and come down.
Yeah,
because
it's more of a trick. It's more Winks to trick the offense more. He needs to not blitz.
Yeah,
they expect you to.
Yeah.
You said to throw it all off. He just need to throw the blitz away, and they're gonna be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 12. It's coming, y'all. I got a place for the blitz.
And Mason and Graham gonna have to play their tail off. They gonna have to almost play the whole game. I don't care.
Yeah, these are money making games for them. You know what I'm saying? So this Indiana, especially Ohio State, hey,
they're gonna have to play the whole game. They suck it up. Suck it up. Hell, hey, drag it. Hey, get caught off by a damn forklift or something, man.
Go get some oxygen on the
Go get some
sideline or
oxygen or
something.
something,
Yeah.
man. Play the whole game,
Yeah,
please.
that no huddle, they gonna be no huddling us to death. That's a fact.
Cause man, every time they not in the game, they go right up the gut, right up the gut, right up the gut. And when they in the game, they go outside. They go outside. And I'm like,
Texas masterclassed us. And if I'm Dan Lanning, I'm looking at that because they do a lot of the same kind of similar type of
mm-hmm.
things. So
Oh
if I'm
yeah,
him,
expect to see
I'm
Taz and Evan running laterally, a lot of motions.
sure.
They'll probably give it to them on jet sweeps. Yeah, for sure. They're gonna test us.
Right. So the film is out there, Wink. You know what your weaknesses are, and people know what you like to do. So change it
Figure
up.
it out, OG.
Those blitzes in the red zone
Yeah.
stuff are
Mhm.
working.
And start cussing people out, please. Lord Jesus, they mess up. Yank
He's
them out the
mighty
game.
calm, isn't he? I don't ever really see that man mad. He don't throw his hat. He don't smack the play sheet. He don't cuss the players out. He just be
With his sunglasses on, like
yeah,
he on vacation
just
or something.
look it. Just look, hey man, yeah, we need it. Like
We need
there's
it.
no way we can win. There's 3 out of the last 4 games that we have no shot of winning if the defense doesn't show up. No shot at all. So like for real, for the rest of the season, the most important coach, I'd
His
like to
defensive
say it's Kurt
coordinator.
Campbell. No, it's Wink Martindale.
It's
He is the most
Wing.
important
Yeah.
coach for the rest of the season.
Defense has to keep us in all of these games.
Has to earn that money, dog.
Yeah.
Earn that $4 million.
For real. And the assistant coaches, all of them, the whole
Yeah.
defensive staff. Y'all
Yep.
better earn this.
Yep. I see Brian Jean-Marie now. Since we talking about coaches, he's making some strides with Ernie. Rolder is playing good.
Yeah.
Barnes coming along. He's doing well. I'm still looking at Lamar, with some of the man situations we in, but Jair's coming along really well. He looked great last night.
Yeah, he did. He did. He did.
Looked
He
real
did.
against Marsh too. He was playing Marsh most of
Yeah.
the night. So I like that. I like the encouragement. They're doing their thing slowly but surely on the defensive side, much faster than what's happening on offense. I just hope it stays on the upward, the up and
Yeah.
up,
Yeah,
not
it has to
exactly where we was
keep
going.
getting better.
Yep.
It's getting better. It's just I like y'all said, it's the play calling at certain situations, especially if we can get the third downs together, man. And I think that's been biting the defense the whole season. It's the inconsistency in third downs and long. We are poor in that area
On
right
third and
there.
long. That's
And
where you
third and
want to be as
long.
a defense too. So it's kind of hard for you not to be want to be in that situation. But you're right. Third and long has been a disaster consistently all season.
Because if we did half of that, maybe we can win some of these games. Because it's been key for us to get stops, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Wink. He's blitzing on a lot of them third and longs. That's his MO, and everybody knows it. So when you know something, what do? I
Yep.
prepare for it.
Play to it, yeah.
So I'm
They
expecting,
have.
and that's why they get burnt on it.
And that's the worst as we look. If you be honest through the whole game, it's some of the third downs that made our defense look real bad.
Yeah.
Because it's at a key time. Because all the other times, look how long the offense against our defense taking them to get down the field. They doing more than 12 plays just to get down the field.
Their
Mhm.
first drive was 8 minutes long. I thought I heard that wrong. They had the ball
Yes.
for 8 minutes to start the game.
Yeah.
And it was like chipping away. It's the third downs. So, that's if we could clean up the half of the third downs,
You're
on
much more
defense, we
better.
might
Yeah,
have a
you're
shot.
much better. You're much
We'll
better.
be
Yeah.
much better. Now with the offense, it is what it is. I can't. It is what it is because we could talk about this for another 2 or 3 days, even weeks with the offense. So it's just the defense for me, and I appreciate y'all having me for this long, man. Go blue, y'all.
Yes,
Go blue,
sir.
bro.
Whew. I got a freaking migraine, bro. Man.
Yeah.
So I'm over here in the sunken place almost. But you got anything else?
Nah, man. Overall, good win. Not a great one, but any win is a good win. You know,
Right.
got a few things to build on. My biggest takeaway is finding ways to get better. And that's for everybody on the team, man. That's for the quarterbacks, that's the running backs, offensive line, the coaches. I know there's a lot of focus on trying to solidify this recruiting class. And while I think that is paying dividends, let's make sure that we're not over leveraging. Let's make sure we're around to coach that recruiting class. How about that? How about we make sure we're around to actually be able to coach and develop the 2026 class, you know, and make that a priority. But always good to beat little brother.
Yes, sir. It's a good win, and you know, this season isn't how most of us hoped it would be or wanted it to be.
Yeah.
You know, when it's going bad, take time to enjoy the good
Yeah,
games, the
better.
good wins. You know, take time to enjoy it, and that goes for anything, whether life, you know, whatever. Take time to enjoy it when it's good. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
because it ain't gonna be good forever, and you know, bad times happen, but try to enjoy the good ones when they're
Oh,
here.
sure.
But that's all I got. Marcus, appreciate you joining from a house
Always.
divided, back of the bus.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, y'all subscribe over there. That's really all I got. Let me play this real quick and we're gonna get out of here.
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine.